What's going on? This is Alex from Sigma Spirit, and right now we're in an abandoned tobacco farm, and places like this make me feel a certain way. And the reason I'm bringing this up in this place, this concept we're about to get into, is because of that feeling that this kind of place sends me to. And I'm going to talk today about what the young man in today's world, the young Sigma male who just discovered who he is, he's just learning about who he is as a Sigma male, what he can do to embrace places like this. So we look around a place like this and we notice that it's just destruction. It's degradation, disintegration of a business collapsed here. And in the ruins, we have just complete chaos, trash everywhere, broken windows, broken glass, things all over the ground, weird cables here. And it makes me think about the world. And of course, this makes me think about you as the young Sigma male in today's world, trying to figure out who they are, trying to figure out the best way to navigate the world. So today's world, it is September 2020, and we are in a bit of chaos right now. And it's no mystery why certain things are falling apart. And there's a new normal being implemented. There's a new procedure for how things work in the world. Very rapidly, things are changing. And we're also on the brink of possibly an empire collapsing. So when you look around and you see things like this all around us, just destruction, it reminds me of what might be a new normality in the future, a new way of gauging what is sort of a developed country or what's normal life, what's normal for people. In the past 50 years in certain countries, we've really gotten used to a certain level of comfort and technological advancement. And then when we see things like this, these abandoned places, these broken down businesses, it's a good reminder that things are chaotic and things are going to change in the future. And what does that mean for you as the young Sigma male? The young Sigma male who's just discovering who he is and what he wants to do in the world, how to be himself, how to embrace these certain characteristics about who they are. And I think it can be very scary for you. It's very scary because you've got this wild world in front of you and you just don't know what's going to happen. So my advice for you would be, first we'll start with macro advice, big picture advice. The big thing I would tell you is just look around you, look at all the chaos, the danger, the adventure, and understand that everything is actually in the exact place that it's supposed to be in. So some people might not agree. Some people have a view of reality where they need everything to be in place. They need everything to be perfectly in order. And they could look at a place like this, they could come to an abandoned factory like this and think, oh, what a mess. This makes me feel sick. I hate that. Why don't they clean this up? But for someone like me, and perhaps you as a Sigma male, you might come to a place like this and feel a little bit in your element as a Sigma male. And when I come here, I realize that I do feel sort of in my element in these places. So as a Sigma male, you need to look around and just breathe in and start to realize that everything is actually in order and that you should be grateful for the various things in the world that you have access to, even though we're at the height of a certain collapse, new normal, whatever you want to call it. There are resources for you, there are roadmaps, which other people haven't had before you. So it's something to remind yourself about, that things are crazy right now, but you're in the right spot. And the second piece of advice I would tell to you is that you need to invest. So a lot of people right now in this era, everybody's talking about investments. They're talking about making money during this collapse, and there's business opportunities left and right. But for many of you, you might not see those things, and it might be difficult for you to really understand what people are talking about. And this video is not about investments. This video is not about how to make money in 2020. In my honest opinion, I think anyone who says that they know how to make money off of investments during times of crisis generally are just making their best guess, and then years later they attribute that success to some foresight that they thought they had, but really it was just a lucky guess. But what I mean by investment is to invest in the things that you can control. So you can't control the stock market, you can't control the price of Tesla, but you can control three things. And these three things were brought up to my attention by a guy named Mark Joyner. The whole reason I came to where I am right now and why I left America in March was because I wanted to go to this marketing conference. So I flew halfway across the world and I end up in this marketing conference listening to a guy named Mark Joyner. And Mark Joyner says, things are about to change. Things are about to change very dramatically. And we're all kind of rolling our eyes in the audience, like, yeah, everybody says that. And then things do change dramatically. Everything flips on its head. But I remember him saying, you need to invest in three things: your health, your knowledge, and your skills. And that's my advice really to you as a Sigma male, coming into your own right now, entering this new phase of life as a young man when everything's crashing around. The best investments you can make are health, knowledge, and skills. Those things are always going to be important. If you can improve your skills, people want you. If you can improve your knowledge, you can predict certain things are about to happen. And your health, obviously, is your lifeline. It's your foundation to whatever you want to do, whether you want to be in the military, or you want to be a businessman, or you want to be a teacher, or whatever it is. You want to be an athlete, obviously, you need your health. So, skills, knowledge, health. Third thing I would say for you is to look at the world outside and look at the world inside and start to accept and embrace. Accept and embrace, while also seeking to improve. So this is something that we will do on the outside and on the inside. Accept and embrace everything around you. Okay, things are the way they are right now, and yet I'm going to seek to improve them. And that could be something within you as well. So you have this personality trait. You have this thing inside you. Okay, I'm not the best person. I'm not the greatest person, but I'm going to accept my flaws. I'm going to embrace my flaws, and then I'm going to seek to improve them. And that sort of acceptance, embracing, giving yourself permission to have those flaws, as well as view flaws in the world, are going to help you a lot. Because if you're not willing to accept and embrace certain things in your life and the reality of the world right now, I mean, how could you just stand here and look around you and feel any sort of peace if you can't just accept that things are dirty, things are messed up, and there's trash everywhere? And on some level, that's the world right now, and you have to just kind of, it's okay, I accept it. So the fourth thing I would say to you would be not to be a loner. And this is obviously controversial because we're Sigma males, right? We're loners. We want to be out in the world by ourselves, independent, self-reliant. And yet, I'm saying, as you come into this new phase of life, the world, cultural evolution, that you shouldn't be a loner, it's a little confusing, right? So I think during times of stability and things like that, Sigma males represent the minority. They represent the fringes. And as things degrade into chaos, we are going to see more Sigma males come to the surface. We're going to see more of these people who just let go of the social dominance hierarchy, modern life, mainstream thinking, and they're going to step into this role many would call a Sigma male. So, what does that mean for you as a young Sigma male who is just coming into their maturity during this time? It means that you're going to be asked something. Something is going to be asked of you in the next few years, the next decade. And it's going to demand a lot of you. And I think it's important for you to remember that during this time period, being a loner is actually going to work against you. So you need to find communities of other Sigma males. Find communities of other people who aren't Sigma males. Learn to be able to step into social circles, step out of them, because as things change in the next 2 decades, it might not be so easy to just sit online. We might not be able to be as self-reliant as previous generations of Sigma males. Maybe when you think back on like the 1800s or something, you imagine this Sigma male. He lives in his cabin or something up in the woods, in the mountains, and every now and then though, he has to come together with these other Sigma male characters and work towards a common objective. And perhaps he needs to use the skills and the knowledge of other people. So that's what I want you to remember in this coming paradigm, is that we are a lot more connected than maybe you think you are right now, or maybe that we've been allowed to be. We've been allowed during this certain period of time to be very disconnected and to be very introverted. But maybe now in the future, you're going to be asked in some way or another, not by one person, but maybe by the forces, whatever they are, the universe, whatever you want to call it, to join a group, to bond with a group, come together as a community. So my last piece of advice for someone, my 5th piece, would be to take what works and disregard what doesn't. So there's a lot of information about who you are. There's a lot of information on my channel about my viewpoint about what Sigma males are, who they are, how to survive, how to love, how to date, how to find success in work and all that stuff. But you should remember that you're the guru. You're the expert. Your experience is best written by you, not by me, not by someone on the internet. So take what you learned, pass it through a filter, look at it under a microscope so that you can determine whether it's good for you or not. And then you take all that stuff in, and then you get rid of stuff. You take what you want to use and get rid of everything else. Just like these buildings. These buildings are almost completely empty. They're completely empty of the important stuff, and yet some stuff has been left over. Because the people in these factories, whoever owned it, they were about to leave and they decided, okay, we're gonna take what's important and we're gonna leave behind what's shitty, what we don't need. So, sort of like the Bruce Lee philosophy of take what works, disregard what doesn't, and take all these philosophies and make your own philosophy to be your personal belief system, your personal roadmap. Learn from many teachers, many different gurus, and build a cohesive plan for yourself. That's my advice for anyone who's just coming into this role as a Sigma male in 2020. Perhaps this doesn't give you too much detail about very specific things. This kind of gives you just the broad view of what you can do as a Sigma male, as a young man, coming into this new era of masculinity, new era of purpose. And if you want more, I would suggest you just go to the channel, Sigma Spirit, and check out various things. We've got stuff about love, dating, success, certain mental issues that Sigma males might have, and things about which profession, what kind of business, how to survive, how to interact with other people. So that would be my ultimate next step, would be to dive into the content on the website and the channel. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to Sigma Spirit and like this video. Don't like this video just because you think it'll please my ego, give me some sort of validation, but because you believe in these ideas, you believe in what I'm saying, and by liking it, you're going to help spread these ideas. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.